have 2 different types of infinity. So whenever you want to know about that, you come by my office and I'll give you that lesson. It takes 3 minutes, just like this talk will take. I've been a classroom teacher for 13 years teaching math, and I've loved it. I've always chosen to be engaged in politics or policy or activism. I've been a volunteer since I was a little kid, when I was 6 years old, collecting signatures with my mom for the first recall in Bell Gardens. In Bell Gardens, exactly. I'm from Bell Gardens. Growing up in Bell Gardens, success was getting a high school degree, going to college, and never coming back. And I think a lot of us in this room have that same story of growing up and what it means to be successful. But our communities are never going to move forward if that's the attitude we take. I learned it the hard way. I moved out. I never planned to come back. My parents got sick and I came back, and every day I asked myself, when can I leave again? I was 30 and single and I owned a house, and my siblings told me, you come home because you haven't gotten married and take care of the parents. I didn't think about it. For 30 years they took care of me, that's the least I could have done. I came back. But every day I said, when am I going to leave? Along the way I realized that a lot of people in my community took care of me so I could go to college and get a bunch of degrees that my mom calls wallpaper and doesn't know what they do for me other than sit there and collect dust. But those people invested in me. They made sure I was okay. They took care of me when my mom was busy working from 5 in the morning to 7 p.m. Monday through Sunday. They made sure that I was out of trouble, that I got fed. And if I looked a mess, they helped me look a little bit neater every day. And I looked a mess often. And so at some point I realized that I had a responsibility to stay in my community and give them something back. The way that they invested in me, it was time I invested in them. And so I started to go to council meetings. I started to, get engaged. And somehow that led me into the city of Bell. And people always ask me, you're not from Bell. Bell neighbors, Bell Gardens. Same area, same community. You never knew you're in any different place. But when Bell happened, I realized I had an opportunity, that history was happening and I could be part of it. And I had never done anything like that, but I said, you know what? Screw it. It's time to be fearless. I grew up in a household where my mom was in charge and took care of us no matter what and got it done. I could get it done too. I had a good role model. And we got it done, and it wasn't always pretty. Ricardo knows. We stumbled, but when we did, I said, get up, let's keep going. When it was time to work for the assembly, the same thing happened. It was a new seat with no incumbent. People came to me and I was afraid. I didn't want to run. I didn't want to be in public office. I've got really good at throwing those stones. I got really good at doing that criticism. I didn't want to be on the other side. Karma is and I won't curse today, but it is. I went on vacation, and when I was gone, I realized I had a responsibility to that community, the same way they invested in me, to keep investing in them. So I came back and I decided to run, and once again I said, you know what? I've never done this, but we're going to get it done. So I grew up in a household with a strong Latina woman that had been getting it done for all 5 of us, for my siblings and I. Non-stop, she has a business, she's the most successful woman that I know. And so I had a good role model to get it done. And that's kind of the attitude that now I share with people. One, if you're young, come back to your community, invest in them. That's the only way we're going to move forward. You're here because of them. 2, when an opportunity comes your way, take it. Be fearless. They don't come often, but when they do, you're fearless about it. And a lot of people are going to tell you no. But find those people that will tell you yes, and those that tell you no, ask them why. They identify a weakness for you and find an ally to fix that weakness. You can get there. 3, you're never going to have balance. Your life is never going to be perfect. Whether you want to have a family or not, do it. But don't let those opportunities pass you up. And this idea of balance is something that someone has told to us, and I don't know what movie we saw, or how many movies we've seen with that, but it doesn't exist. As long as every day you're feeling good with yourself and you're trying to make it better, you're going to get there. And at the end of the day, it's our responsibility to pick up all those other women, so that when I show up at the floor eventually, I'm going to see 50-50, and I'm not going to see what I see now, where I see 20 women in the assembly. And every time we recognize a woman on that floor, it gets me angry. Because I feel, why aren't we recognizing that woman on that floor, and why don't I have 40 women here on the floor with me? Which is just like Ricardo, I have a goal of collecting more women. I have an immediate goal, and you have to join me, not just for Lorena Gonzalez, not just for Leticia Perez, and not just for Norma Torres. But we have about 30 members that are turned out in 2014. And I'm going to curse now, I'll be damned if we don't get 12 women in the assembly. 12 women by 2014.
Se puede.
And don't tell me I settled. Or don't tell me I have a lofty dream, I'm sorry. It's not lofty because I'm settling. That's not even half of what's being termed out. I'm not going to do it alone. It's a big challenge. We got it done in Bell. We got me here and no one expected me here. We're going to get it done too. And I hate to lose and I hate to be wrong. And I'm only going to be right with all of your help. So are you guys in this? Are we going to get it done?
Woo! Yes, teacher.
When you guys come on, for real. A little more. Somos Latinas con gusto. Mujeres, we have to get it done for ourselves. These men will help us. They'll pop us up. But we have to demand it, and we have to demand it now, and we have to get it done. Be relentless about it. Thank you.
Thank you. Woo!